What's up, YouTubers? I'm JC from the Not So Lonely Road Crew, and I'm chilling here with my friend Ronnie Winter, the founder, CEO, songwriter, producer, and lead singer of the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
What's going on, Ron?
Not much, dude. How's it going?
Just hanging out. It's very hot.
It's roasting out here. It's like 101 degrees today.
Oh, and I was complaining at 86.
Haha, that's nothing.
Yeah, true story. Okay, so let's wrap up this last spring tour of 2012. How's it been in comparison to other tours?
Actually, really great. It's been a lot of different. We've been through a lot in the last 6-7 years of touring, and we've played a lot of these venues before. So you never really know what's going to happen your third or fourth time playing a club. There were a couple new ones, but a lot of these ones we played before, and these were definitely some of the bigger crowds. Other than like when we were just on top of the world. So it's really good to know that people still care and that we can still tour, and all the new songs are going over really well, which is probably the most important part to me, because I know the old songs are good. Everybody knows the old songs are good, but now people are starting to figure out how good the new songs are. So I really appreciate that when I see the kids singing the new stuff. Reap, Angels in the Skies, Choke has all been going over really well. And sometimes I do Don't Lose Hope Acoustic, and a lot of people are really digging that vibe too.
I like that one a lot.
We're also, yeah, it comes off good acoustic. I mean, they're all written that way anyway, so it's easy for me to translate any song if I try to acoustic. But I can't complain. You can see the shots on YouTube, and all the kids having a good time, and from all the cool still frames, so you can see for yourself. But it was great, man. We didn't have any serious problems. The tour pretty much went off without a hitch. And it was just definitely a success from all angles, and I'm glad. I thank everyone that came out. It was fun.
True story. Well, there was a Crash Bandicoot, I believe, in Westchester.
There was a Crash Bandicoot. One of the local bands on the tour, Mistake. They're new. They're noobs, totally green. They've only done a couple of tours, and everybody makes mistakes, so it's all good. But they crashed into our bus, which was parked on the side of the road. And I'm also, I'm tour manager, and I'm also the manager of the band. So, you rattle off all the things. I do a lot of things just because I'm a firm believer if you want something done right, to do it yourself. But that's just the way I was raised. So also, I like to have my own opinion on everything, and I'll just be honest about that. But yeah, I got a phone call. I was at Taco Bell from my assistant, Jesse, and he's freaking out and just saying, emergency, emergency, emergency. And I'm like, what does that mean? And we were getting a phone call from that because Jesse's also my friend, and we've been in bands together. So I don't think I've ever actually heard him say emergency in the 10 years that we've known each other. So I knew something weird was going on, and he goes, I need you up here right now. So I go up there, and there's, all the dudes from all the bands kind of standing around, and the van is, kind of perpendicular, like crossed over to the top of the front of ours, and the trailer hasn't quite impacted yet, but it's about to impact, and everybody's kind of scratching their heads, and I'm like, look, drop the trailer. Obviously, there's really not a lot of options. So everybody kind of scrambled and dropped the trailer. We picked the trailer up and moved it to the left. Pulled the van forward after that, which definitely minimized. Damage would have been a lot worse had they have just tried to pull forward with the trailer, because the trailer would have caught after where the van had caught, which definitely would have been more expensive for them. So luckily, they escaped with pretty minimal damage. It could have been a lot worse. Buses have air brakes and air tanks, so none of those exploded. No major injuries. Everybody was okay. Obviously, the most important thing. And yeah, other than I guess that was the only real incident of the road, other than crazy banter.
Well, at least from the back half, from what I remember, that was pretty much well, a lot of crazy things happened, but that was one of the downer parts. But we got crazy stuff going on tour.
Yeah, it's all good. Things happen. We're cool with those guys. They're cool with us. They're taking care of all that. So, it happens. Accidents happen. Everybody understands that.
Yeah. So I hear you've got a new tattoo.
I do. Can you see it? Oh!
They match!
Looks a lot like yours.
Well, I've got twice as much.
Yeah, that's fine. I've been wanting to get that tattoo for a long time, and I know you've been wanting to get one as well, and a bunch of other guys in the band and on the crew got them as well, and it's just always been something we wanted to do, but you have to just really set a decide time to do it, and we were going to do it actually in Westchester,
But
right before the bus debacle.
it happens.
That pretty much, that consumes my evening. So lo and behold, a couple days later, bam, our venue is literally right next door to a tattoo shop.
Owned by the same guy, too.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. So it worked out great.
Good stuff. So tell me about the salmon game.
Salmon game. That's not really. I'm not really. I don't know if I'm really. I'm not really part of the salmon game. I see it happen.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I started that.
Yeah, you did start that. I've seen Tim Roth doing it a lot. I've seen Josh do it. I've seen you do it, and some other guys on the crew. I'm not a salmoner. Salmon meat. It hasn't happened yet.
I almost got you. In New York.
You can't salmon somebody if it doesn't shock them, then it didn't work. I'm pretty hard to start. So good luck. Keep trying.
Most people have absolutely no idea what we're talking about, but the rest of them are just laughing hysterically on the inside.
They'll find out about it.
It'll get them. It'll get them next. So tell me about the pink panties.
Yeah, that's weird. Totally weird, but again, not something I personally started, but I'm more of a silent observer. But a couple of, I don't even remember how long ago it started, actually, to be honest with you. For quite a long time now, somebody, girls wear their undergarments on stage, part of a rock show, is what it is. And this particular pair of underwear was saved by somebody in the band and crew. We don't even actually remember, in all honesty, who saved it or for what purpose. And obviously, we don't take any of that stuff seriously because it's just all in good fun. And now it's just strategically being placed throughout the bus, throughout the stage, throughout. Last time I saw it was after the tour ended on the way home. Somebody got Joey because it was his turn to drive. I looked over in our passenger seat and they were dangled over the top of the van steering wheel. You never really know where they're going to show up. I've seen them in boxes, chicken nuggets. I've seen them in taped to the top of people's bunks. I've seen them in guitar cases. I've seen them in drum cases. I've seen them on the microphone stand. I mean, you never know when it's going to happen. No one's safe.
It was the Shenanigans on tour were a lot of fun. It was a really great experience to ride around with you guys for the back half of the tour.
Yeah, definitely. I think you got to stay positive and have fun, or you'll go crazy. It's every day's an adventure, but there's a lot of monotony to it too. There's drive, load in, set up, sound check, sit around and wait, drive, load in, set up, sound check, sit around and wait, and then obviously the show every night. So there's a system to it, and you don't really get to go and hang out in town as much as a lot of people would think that you would, because there's always something that needs to be done. So there's definitely some downtime, but usually not until after doors, and then you're going on in 2 hours anyway. So what can you really do? Plus, you never really have a car, so that's why we prank each other. That's why we try to have a good time. That's why we play beanbag toss, and just try to keep it light.
Yeah, unless you've got friends riding around with you, then you've got a car.
Then sometimes you have friends, and that's nice. Not all the time, though.
True. So what do you think about the Not So Lonely Road Crew traveling 3,000 miles to see you guys 8 times? How does it feel to have fans do this for your band? What kind of inspiration and hope does that give you for the future?
Well, obviously, I've met all you guys before at shows, and you know what? I think it's rad. I mean, I talk about this with the rest of the guys in the band all the time. I come from a really, really small town. We have one Middleburg, or it's called Middleburg, but we have one McDonald's in Middleburg, and that was like the big deal when that happened. And about 10 years later, they finally built a Walmart a little ways in between our town and the next town, and now that's kind of like the mecca for where everyone hangs out in the parking lot. So, it's just everybody knows everybody, and I just wish that everybody had the opportunity to travel as much as we do and make a living, because Middleburg's great, and I've never moved. I bought a house here right after we got a record deal, never left my hometown, and I will always live here. But it's good to get out and see the world and experience different culture and see how much different states are and people are, the way they act, and different food products and everything. I mean, it's definitely just something not a lot of people get to do. So the fact that you guys were able to, budget your time and your finances wisely and set it up to where you could actually pull this off is pretty awesome. And I hope it's inspiration to other fans, not just of our band, but for any band, because it's a cool experience, man. It's a road trip. I mean, it's, I mean, I don't know. How would you describe it?
Uh, an adventure that I'll probably never forget. I mean, it was. I mean, I've been to shows. I mean, that after our little mini tour there, that capped off my 19th red jumpsuit show. So I'm catching up to Punkin slowly. But
Got a ways to go.
yeah, true story. Don't you worry, I'm coming for you, Punkin. But I don't know, it was great. I mean, we went through the full spectrum of emotions. It was like exciting, and then happiness and awesome, and then then it became a little redundant after a while, and then it was just we got sick of each other, and cabin fever set in. We were clawing at the walls to try and get out of the car, and then after that it was apologetic, and yes, Van Dorn, but we were in half the size.
Yeah. But you also had half.
Also true, and half the gear. So very similar experience. Yeah, it was fun though. But apologies all around. Everybody was great. It was definitely a great experience. I'll never forget it. I'd love to do it again. Maybe next time we'll get a bus. Maybe next time we'll get a van. Get a few more.
Yeah, definitely. I'd recommend a little bit larger vehicle. But
yeah, I offered my truck, but gas is a lot.
Yeah, that's one of the things you learn. We went through the same phase when we first signed to Virgin way back in 2005. We did a promo tour before our record was even out, a few of them, and the first couple of vans that we got were like minivans and 12-passenger vans with no trailer, and we're trying to fit a full back line with all this merch, CDs, and a full band with a couple crew guys. So it was definitely something where when we finally got our actual 15-passenger van, which is still small compared to how a lot of bands roll, that's when we finally figured out, yeah, this is how it needs to be done. You know what I mean? Because at least in a van that big, everybody has a little bit of personal space, which becomes necessary. You did 8 days total?
Well, it was 8 shows total, but it was 12 days.
Right. So we were out for about 31 days. So, it's
a little less than half. Yeah.
All the emotions and everything you said just increased with time.
Yeah.
So, how it goes, man. It's part of the adventure. You never know what's going to happen.
It was fun. I love it. I thought it was great. It's fantastic. I love being on the road. I love traveling. And touring with you guys is just an excuse. So.
Absolutely. That's what I think.
Yeah. True story. All right. So I have a couple of fan questions. This one is from Megan Butler in California. I believe you met her this year on this tour.
I did.
She wants to know what you do on your days off while on tour.
It really depends on the drive. We strategically place days off in between large drives so we don't have to drive 100% of the time and then arrive to the venue and load in. So, and it also depends on the show. Like, we played one of the last shows was in Myrtle Beach, and
good times.
Our town, Middlebury. Yeah, it was a good time. It's sunny and it's right on the river. So we're all river rats where I'm from because our town, there's a river that runs right through a creek and river. So for us, it was kind of like being at home. So that night, we hung out pretty late, had a good time, and then we stayed there the next day until about 2 or 3 o'clock because we wanted to. And, so we just hung out and just, went back in the water and did some fishing and just kind of resting up from the previous night's festivities. But on other days off, sometimes we go to malls because it's easy to park the bus in a mall parking lot. Everybody wants to do a little shopping. Sometimes we go catch a movie. Anywhere with a really big parking lot, you'd be surprised you find bands. So, if you go to a Walmart late at night, see a big anywhere with a big parking lot, whether it's a Denny's or a Walmart or a mall or a movie theater or whatever those things I talked about already, that's usually where bands hang out. Or maybe like a state park, anywhere where there's a lot of room to easily maneuver the vehicle that you're in.
Okay, cool. All right, so this next question comes from some guy named James Kuhn from Cicero, New York.
Never heard of him.
Me neither. Never heard of him. He wants to know, what are some unique challenges in tour life?
Unique challenges. Hygiene's pretty difficult. You definitely have to skip a few showers here and there, which, we did have a bus, but it only has a certain amount of water in the tank, and when you're rolling with 9 people, Even if everyone takes what we call military showers, you wind up running out of water pretty quickly. So I always just kind of like listen. As soon as somebody's out, I hop in real quick while everybody else is asleep. But hygiene's a little challenging, but that's an easy solution. Just when you stop at a truck stop, remember to get up and go inside while you have that limited 10 to 15, 20 minutes. Take care of what you need to. Other than that, for me, just keeping my voice rested is hard because we're all friends. My wife is on the road. My best friends are on the road with me. My brother's in the band. My other bandmates are all my good friends from home. So it's easy to be chatty with people that you get along with and that you like and you share similar interests in. But it's actually really bad for your voice. The worst thing to do is talk in a loud environment because you don't realize how much you're pushing, exerting. It's actually almost equal to screaming, some people say. I mean, that's not coming from me, but that's what I've heard. So, a lot of singers will wear signs around their neck saying, vocal rest, don't talk to me. I don't do that.
I've never seen you do that.
Yeah, I see it all the time, though. Like, I've been on tours with many bands where there'll be a signing and the singer has a sign, a rope around his neck or a shoe that says vocal rest, like, talk, sorry, hi. And I don't care. You know what? I'm going to talk anyway, but it definitely does help, though. So another thing on days off, sometimes I'll kind of just keep to myself and stay in my bunk and just play 3DS and stuff like that. That way I'm not having to conversate with everybody because I'm a chatty kind of guy, so it's easy for me to not follow the rules. So for me, the only real challenges are, a little bit of hygiene, sleep, and resting my voice. Because I'm also helping drive and doing all the business stuff too, so it's easy to use your voice too much, but you can really tell when I've had a day or two off and I've had a chance to rest it. So that next show always sounds better than 3 or 4 in a row, but that's also part of tour. You can't afford to just take a day off every other day, or you wouldn't be able to finish the tour because you'd run out of gas. So That's just part of the game.
Yep. Okay, this last question comes from April. She wants to know when you'll be back in the Philippines.
What's up, April? We're working on that. We have been working on that for a long time. The Philippines is an amazing country. It's definitely my favorite place to play for a couple of different reasons. But the most important reason to me is honestly the geography. It's just an absolutely beautiful place. So I definitely miss it. I wish we could have already gone back, but we have had a lot of different things going on here in the States. Pretty much been nonstop busy since the last time we've been there. A lot of changes as far as who we're working with and what we're doing. So we're going to come back when we're ready to put on the best possible show that is possible, which I would say is very soon. We're definitely sounding better and looking better than we ever have in the history of the band. So we got that part down. The next part is finding the right time with availability, finding the right production team over there that's able to fulfill the needs that we have to put on that kind of an epic show like we did last time. And there's also a couple other ideas that I've had where instead of just doing 1 or 2 days, I wanted to do two nights per city, and in one night perform our first record, Don't You Fake It, from beginning to end, and then on the next night play all the songs that we like from the second and third record. So I think that would be really cool for both new and old fans, and that way everybody walks away happy. But it's hard to set up those kind of things because in a perfect world, I could say, well, I want to go to this country and play it this day at this time, but there has to be a lot of other cards that fall into play. So we have our fingers crossed. Hopefully we can find some people over there that are excited about that idea and bring us over sooner than later. Know one thing, that if it was up to me, we'd be over there tomorrow. So unfortunately, I do not control the earth. There's somebody much wiser and stronger than me doing that, but I'll keep my fingers crossed, and I hope that it works out. We'd love to be there as soon as possible, that's for sure.
I tried, April. We'll see soon. Pending. There's definitely a huge demand for you guys there. I'm constantly seeing on your newsfeed, Philippines. It's not just like the same person over and over again who's like, face down, guardian angel. No, not that guy. It's always like 20, 30 different kids, Philippines. And it's like, wow, they have a big following over there.
We definitely do, and we know that, and we appreciate it. And like I said, we really want to get over there as soon as possible. I can tell you one thing. The best way to get over there is to keep doing what you're doing. Tweet every single day. tweet and Facebook every day. It doesn't bother us. It doesn't get on our nerves. It doesn't get irritating. And what that does is it shows the powers that be that there are kids over there who want us to come really badly. And so just keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up. Don't lose hope, if you will. And eventually it'll work. Things always work themselves out if you stay positive.
Yeah. See, there you have it. Blow up the news feed, and they'll come over as fast as they can.
Blow it up.
All right, well, let's talk about the future. I know you got a lot of big things coming up. First and foremost, you have the Am I the Enemy music video coming up. So you were in L.A. this last tour, working with Chris Folkens again for the first time since the Pen and Paper video. What was that like again?
He's awesome. I'm really excited about how this is going to turn out because he is definitely, I'd say he's one of the most underrated directors in L.A. There's a lot of, there's always political ties with anything in the music and film industry, and this guy's kind of a renegade like us. He kind of just does what he wants to do and doesn't have a lot of affiliations with any major companies or any major financial backers, and he's still able to make incredible quality product. For instance, the video that we shot here at my house, in my studio, in my front yard, was for Pen and Paper with Chris, and he did that on a budget that was literally 35 times less than the amount of money that we spent on You Better Pray, and it looks just as good. So it's one of those things where I like working with him because he's smart and he's proficient. We've been working on the Am I the Enemy treatment for a long time. This isn't something that just came about recently, and it's actually a few different ideas that we had for previous songs that never really panned out. So we kept all these cool ideas that we had, but they didn't quite fit in the storyline with the lyrics for the particular song we were working on at the time. So while I was talking to him about treatment ideas and what we're going to do, I brought up some older ideas that we had discussed, and he was like, wow, yeah, that totally translates with the lyrics. So it's really a blending of ideas between me and him that has started a few years back, and I think that's one of the reasons why this video is going to be so amazing, because we've definitely technically spent more time on the thought process of this video than any video that's ever been filmed for our band. So that's one reason why it's awesome. The other reason why it's awesome is because Joey wears a wolf mask. So there you go.
I saw some screenshots, and it looks awesome.
It's so cool.
Well,
it's cool. We had some fun with prop on this one, and we brought back, if you look carefully, we brought back the one of the masks from the False Pretense video, and there's a couple little hidden Easter eggs if you're paying attention that throws back to some of our older stuff. So if you've been a fan since Don't You Fake It, you'll really appreciate some of the imagery that we used on this video. If you're a new fan, it's a little bit of inspiration to go back and check out some of the older stuff, and you'll notice, hey, well, that's kind of like that a little bit, which we obviously did on purpose to keep it all cohesive. And it's also the song has a lot of spiritual reference to it as well, being based off Galatians 4:16, which is important to me. We've definitely taken a more spiritual direction in the past year and a half, 2 years. So I'm going to continue to do that because that's what I want to do. And we're not going to beat people over the head with it and say, I'm not going to preach from the microphone, but that is how I feel. So I got to say it, or I would be being true to myself.
There you go. Okay, so the acoustic album is on its way out. I know you've got a lot of the tracks already recorded, and it's pretty much in the final stages. Should be coming out very soon. And there's rumor of an acoustic tour. Is that any truth to that?
Yeah, you know what? We did one before, and it was incredible because you can play a totally different kind of venue. Like a lot of these coffee shops and just little like CD stores will do acoustic shows, so you don't have to be at a bar every night. And believe it or not, we don't like being at a bar every single night. It just gets old, especially now that I quit smoking. I really can't stand to be around cigarettes. I don't know how I even lasted that long.
That's what they say.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. You have to have that moment of realization for yourself, and I've definitely been doing great with that. Haven't lasted on. I can guarantee you right now I probably never will. So I have no interest in it whatsoever. But it's just cool because it provides us a different outlet and a different venue to perform with a whole different state set up. I remember last time we had some like really nice like elegant candles and a couple of like coffee tables and like a sofa couch and like it was just really chill and really intimate. And we usually do a Q&A as well. I have a wireless microphone, and we'll pass the mic around the crowd, and we let maybe 5 to 10 people ask a question right there directly to the band, as long as it's not like derogatory or something dumb like that. If it is, then you're just gonna embarrass yourself. So.
Actually,
but
I saw a video like that where you did that. It's an older video. I think you were in Middleburg when you did it. Some shop down there. The acoustics were awful, but you could hear what people were asking. I remember one of the questions you were asked was how you proposed to Stacy, and that's what the video was entitled, just about how you did that. And it was a really cool story. Dig it, man.
Yeah, it is a cool story. That's a good question, and a lot of fans know that I'm with the same girl that I dated in high school, same girl I wrote Guardian Angel about. So it's definitely part of the band's story, and a lot of people get record deals and get signed and get famous and completely change, but unfortunately I'm not that cool. So if you want to know more about the band personally, definitely check out the acoustic tour. There will be another one. The first EP was called Unplugged and Unaffected. This one will be called Unplugged and Unaffected 2, because it is obviously a sequel. And we will do Unplugged and Unaffected Tour Part 2 as well. It's very self-explanatory. We're not going to try to come up with some amazing concepts, but if you like softer songs, if you like Cat and Mouse, Guardian Angel, Angels Cry, if you like Represent, Lonely Road, Godspeed, if you like Angels in Disguise and Dive Too Deep, those are the kind of songs we're going to be performing, along with the classics. Obviously, we're still playing, Face Down. We have a cool version of Justify. There's a song that was a bonus track on the new record called Not Like Before.
That's my favorite.
Pretty much played. Yeah, that one's a good song. A lot of people haven't heard that one yet, but it's good.
I like it.
And we also did a acoustic rendition of our new song Twilight. So there's a lot of new tracks, but we're also redoing some older songs, just because there's no reason not to. There are songs. I wrote them. I can re-record them as many times as I want to, and I know people like to hear new and different versions. Like, for instance, the new version of Face Down acoustic has strings in it, because my brother, Randy, who's our guitar player and has been for about a year now, he's actually a really good orchestral composer, and so a lot of these songs will have strings that have been composed directly by Randy that have never had strings before. So you'll hear songs that are familiar, but there's a whole brand new aspect to them. So it's definitely not just re-recording the same song. We're going to spice them up a little bit, make stylistic changes, and if you're into the band, you're going to like it. It's that simple.
Dig it. That sounds awesome. Kind of excited for it.
Yeah.
All right, so there's talk of a DVD. Not much about it, just that one's going to happen. So is it kind of like the spring tour, the summer tour? Is it kind of the filming of the acoustic record? Is it what's going on with Am I the Enemy, the new single? Is it back home, behind the stage, on stage, kind of a compilation of everything? What's going on with the DVD?
Well, the DVD is going to be it's a grab bag of everything. A lot of bands do the tour blog thing, and we've done tour blogs, and we're into that. But what I wanted to do was something a little bit longer and a little bit more involved and a little more intimate. So to really show people, it's not all about just one show or a couple of days. There's a lot of different things that go into being in a band and making records. So obviously all the things that you just said are involved. We have a lot of video that we captured during the filming of Am I the Enemy. We have a lot of video that we captured documenting the entire tour, whether it's flip cam, little funny stuff, or actual HD cam in the crowd, mosh pits, and on the stage. All that's going to be edited, I believe, by you.
Yeah. Yep. We still gotta work out the kinks as to how to get that to me, but we'll get there.
Well, that's the least of our problems. But
yeah.
There's also going to be exclusive interviews with each of the band members, and I'm also going to get the history and storyline of the entire band, which I've never done before.
I heard it.
So
I heard it once in a bar in Boston.
Yes, I will explain the actual origin all the way till now, and address a lot of different issues over the years and questions that people have asked. Because as you know, I am the founder. I did start it, and I'm the only person that's been here the whole time. So you can get the real truth from me, and I will tell you the truth. And so that's interesting too, just as a chronological type of bonus that we've never done before. We've never explained the actual story. It's actually pretty miraculous how everything kind of came together, and it's definitely a lot of divine intervention, a lot of luck, and a lot of really supportive family and friends is the reason why we have a successful career today. So we're going to do all those things. I'm also going to give the story of every song. As you know, all the songs I've written, which I've written them all for Red Jumpsuit.
I know a lot of them, but I don't know them all.
They are actually based on a true story.
Always.
Even the songs that I had other people write with me are still based on a true story. So every song has a story and a face and a name, and I'm going to go through each and every one of them from every record and explain what they're about and what the concept was and what I was thinking when I was writing lyrics. So it's going to be very revealing. It's going to be something that we've never done, never even come close to doing before. It's not just another live DVD of a show from beginning to end by a band with a couple videos, which is what everybody's doing right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just not interested in doing that. We've never released one of those before because I think they're boring, and that's not what ours is going to be about. Ours is going to be much more about letting you really get to know me and the band and our history and our story and how together with our fans and with our just ambition we've been able to accomplish all the things we have so far.
That sounds awesome. Like, I didn't even think to expect like the rest of that, but that's really, really cool. That's exciting. Cool.
Trying to make it unique, I mean, the way I'm thinking about it is I wish my favorite band would do that. So
yeah.
When this band started, we were writing songs. I mean, I was writing songs, but we, as in my friends that were jamming with me as well, and the idea was always play music that you want to hear.
Yeah.
Play songs that you want to hear, and that's what got us in the game. So we're going to keep that same mentality with everything we do in the band, including our DVD release. And I'm just going to put out, a lot of people will probably think it's boring, and we'll just be like, oh, I wish it was a show from beginning to end. And to those people, I say, come to a live show, because that's what that's all about.
You'll see me. I'll be there.
Anybody, and a lot of these live DVDs are tracked into Pro Tools, and they're edited after the fact, the sound replaced, they're auto-tuned. That's not even really what it sounded like. So for me, if you want to know what it sounds like, don't trust a flip cam because the speakers can be blown out. Don't trust some low-quality audio recording just because the video is good. Come to a show and hear for yourself. If you want to get to know the band, check out the DVD.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. What about the fourth LP record? The fourth record. Now you've got Josh Burke on the crew, and he is a shredding master. He is just buckets of talent. Like I can't even handle how talented that kid is. And in the 1 year he's been with you guys, he's gotten better than he was. Like it's an obvious difference. I've got a lot of his solos on video, most of those coming out soon. I know his dad is dying to see a lot of those, but there's so much progression in the way his playing is just in a year. So the fourth record, can we expect like some metal tunes with some awesome, good Josh Burke solos, or is it just kind of be like, the regular Ronnie Winter, let's write a song, and then now we've got this great guitar player, let's see if he can play it like this and just make the sound more epic. Like you said, play music you want to hear, and I know you're a metal fan.
Absolutely. The origin of Red Jumpsuit is metal. Me and Randy, my brother, who's playing guitar now, as I mentioned, before Red Jumpsuit was Dishonest, we were a metal band. I was the drummer / screamer, and he was a songwriter and singer. So Jumpsuit was an offshoot of a metal band. That is a fact. So yeah, I love the metal. I always have. My favorite metal band is still Seven Dust, and always will be, because of their awesome choruses, and then they were still able to break it down. So there's always been heavier songs. People always pick and choose Red Jumpsuit songs and try to pigeonhole us, but the fact is, every album has been completely random.
Yeah.
The first record, I Dare You to Listen to Guardian Angel and then Granny Goodbye. You'll think it's two different bands.
Yeah.
Or I Dare You to Listen to 17 Ain't So Sweet and then Justify. You will think it's two different records. Listen to Godspeed, and then right after that, listen to You Better Pray. We've always kept that idea that I don't want a record to be boring. Same thing goes with our new record. Listen to Dive Too Deep, then listen to Read. They don't sound anything alike. We don't regurgitate the same songs. I'm not going to. So many people have asked me to write another Face Down, and I'm going to tell you no every time, because that's what makes Face Down unique. That's what makes Face Down special. That's what makes Guardian Angel unique, and that's what makes all the other songs unique, is because they don't sound like all of our other songs. So one thing you can't expect from the fourth full length is not to expect, because guess what? We're going to catch you off guard like we do every single time. And some people are going to say the same thing that they always say. This doesn't sound like them. That's impossible because we are them, and I say it does. So get used to it.
All right, well, that's all the questions I've got. I can't thank you enough for the time. I know you're a busy guy, and this was definitely a breath of fresh air. So.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, we're looking and sounding better than we ever have. You know, it's just everything is really just the stars are aligning for us right now, and a lot of doors are opening when a lot had been closing. And you know, we've purged ourselves of a lot of personal issues, and everything has been handled. I don't think we could have done a better job in the last year or two of just keeping together and staying positive and being creative and continuing to grow as a band with our fans and individually as people ourselves. So we're going to make a killer record. There's no doubt about it. I've got about 7 songs already finished. Me and Randy have been working on about another 5 or 6, and we're also going to just go and jam out about another 5 or 6 with the band. And like you said, I'm really excited about recording Josh, but also, you know, Joey's an amazing bass player. Our drummer Tim, I went to high school with Tim, so I've known him my whole life, and he actually plays double bass. A lot of people don't know this, but I wrote all the drum tracks for Red Jumpsuit because, as I said previous, I was a drummer in our band before this, and a lot of times I had to take the double bass out. So now I don't have to do that, so you can expect a little bit more aggressive drumming, which is the way I play. A lot of that I'm going to track as well, so you actually get to hear me on the drum set. And you know, like I said, we got a better drummer than we've ever had. We got a better guitar player than we've ever had. And my vocals, I would say, sound better than they ever have, mainly because I quit smoking, which is definitely something I will admit that I should have done a long time ago. So it's going to sound, whatever, dude. It's going to sound awesome. I'm not worried about it.
I can definitely attest to the vocals sounding better. I mean, 19 shows, bro, in a year. 19 shows I've been to. So it's definitely improved. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes you just got to wake up in the morning and say, what was I thinking?
How can I be better? How can I improve myself?
Exactly. Well, I'm definitely appreciative of the interview, and I hope you got everything you needed, and I hope that fans watch the whole thing all the way through and are entertained and enlightened somewhat. And yeah, right on.
Good stuff. Well, be sure to check out Red Jumpsuit on tour. They're still touring, though you'll see them in Rockapalooza on, I think it's June 21st in Michigan, so check that out. A couple of dates in Tennessee, and there's a show at Virginia. I'll be at the Virginia show. So definitely come on out to the show. It's way better live. I've always said that. There's nothing better than feeling that bass in your heart and the room shaking with everybody around you screaming the lyrics, man. You can't beat it.
That's right. And one more thing, and this is exclusive. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be telling you this or not. Probably not. But we did confirm an additional U.S. tour because we did so well on the last one. And there's a lot of places we didn't go. So the last week of July into the first 1 or 2 weeks of August, we will be touring with a band called Set It Off out of Florida, who are really good. So if you've never heard them, check them out. And we'll be announcing those dates probably by the end of this week or early next week, once everything is finalized. But that is the first time I've ever mentioned it. So Red Jumpsuit, Apparatus, and Set It Off will be hitting the road late July, early August.
Well, there you have it, an exclusive. Well, thank you for that. That'll definitely get some votes and some views.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely, brother. Take it easy.
Cool.